Antwon, I know we have some folks in common, which is how we ended up here together. And when you look at relationships and how you and I got connected, we probably wouldn't have met had it not been for a common person, right? And the relationships really matter. And I wanted to talk a little bit about your background and how those relationships and that skill and knowledge translates to what you do today.
Yes. So my journey into entrepreneurship started over 2 decades ago. I served in the United States Army, leading different organizations. And when I transitioned out of uniform, I brought a lot of the principles and skills with me that kind of shape how I build businesses and the work that I do with skillful brands today. My focus is on helping entrepreneurs eliminate some of the complexities of starting and operating a business. Those relationships, those opportunities, when I did transition, I still lean on those now heavily. A lot of my friends and colleagues started businesses and entrepreneurs, and we kind of get together on a monthly or quarterly basis, then kind of discuss some of the challenges that they're facing in their business as well.
And I know that, I mean, the person we have in common is somebody from your fraternity, if I'm not mistaken. But at the end of the day, those relationships also still serve you well, right? Um, part
Yes, definitely.
part of your network, part of how your expertise gets shared in the broader entrepreneurs community.
Yes, but what I'll share with you is, and I've seen it a lot. So now what we do, especially, transitioning from the military, there was a different mindset on what we were doing in the military. And a lot
Sure.
of those principles do transition over the leadership values and principles. But also, I feel that we had to retrain our mind on, actually being entrepreneurs out in the civilian world versus the principles that we had in the military. So, right now, when I meet, because I do train a lot of veterans, I try to share with them a lot. You can bring a lot of the principles over, but it's a different type of environment, different type of leadership traits that you need when you're dealing out in the civilian world versus the military.
Absolutely. So first, thank you for your service because I think it is critically important to acknowledge men and women who have served. I have not, but I am very grateful to live in an environment where I can live my life and know that there are people standing at the front line. So thank you.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
I,
Yes, ma'am.
I do work with more than a few folks that have had your experience in the military. You all seem to have a very common thread and an understanding that, as much as I've spoken about it and I hear about it from people, I could never possibly understand. So the fact that you work with other veterans to help them understand, look, this worked when we did this. These are the pieces that you want to hold on to from our training and our experience, but these parts you have to let go, right?
Yeah.
So it's just I just want to express that I think it's unbelievable and wonderful and a beautiful way um, to use your talents, right? To share
yes,
with
ma'am.
other vets.
I will share with as a person that's transitioning out of the military, those individuals already have enough stuff to worry about. They've served, their time in the military. Now they're transitioning to civilian life. And just the transition process itself is kind of challenging. If you're trying to you're trying to transition and then you're trying to start your own business, that's an additional challenge that you'll face. Now, the military, they do have programs that help you, transition into entrepreneurship. One is called Boots to Business. But, I feel that that's kind of like surface level. I think it's a week-long program, but you need a little bit more than that. You need a mentorship group. Then you also need to hear from some of the other veterans that have transitioned, some of the challenges and things that they have, went through. And some of the things is, when I started my business, I quickly realized that, being busy in your business is not building your business. And just like so many other business owners, I still had a full-time job. I had the responsibilities of being a husband and a father. And, I started my business off of passion, but I quickly realized that, just having the passion didn't, book leads. It didn't
Yeah.
get, sales done. So I had to quickly change that. And it took a little time, but I ended up getting it together.
So it's the perfect segue to what you actually do, right? As the skillful advisor. Um, Take me through the process of what it might look like to work with one of your client, with a client.
Yeah, so what we do is when we get new clients in, we kind of start them off. We do a discovery call to kind of see where they want to be, and then what we do from there is we analyze the portion of their business that they're looking at. People often, like I said, people often start their business off of passion, but they quickly realize that alone it doesn't organize their calendars and their sales. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that people have a framework behind what they're doing. And I consider that the three C's, which is clarity, control, and capacity. So, have the clarity to understand and create, your mindset, control, create systems and procedures that create consistent results, and capacity, build the right team at the right time.
So you work with folks that are already established in business and who are looking to grow or scale. Are you also able to help folks that have an idea for a business and how to structure
Yes,
things
both.
to get started? Yeah,
Yes, both. So my passion is helping new entrepreneurs because I just know, what it felt like to be a new entrepreneur. But we do also help entrepreneurs that are already running their business and maybe stuck.
amazing. Yeah, being an entrepreneur myself my entire career, there are challenges that folks who have a skill and expertise, but they don't know how to run the business of that expertise, right? So even folks that have been very successful corporately find themselves, a little underwater when they say, "Oh, I'm going to do that for myself. I'm going to hang a shingle. I'm going to do that under my own identity," which is great, but it's a very
Yes,
different experience, right?
right. And I totally agree with that. I think a lot of people, especially businesses that are already started, they may get stuck in their business because they may not have the right mentor or a person that, helping them along. And then what they usually do is they buy more tools, they create more offers, and then, which creates more tasks for them. And they kind of get burned out and confused on where they need to go. So, I tell a lot of people that you need to really get a good network of individuals that you can call upon to, help you out. And you can't do everything yourself.
That is very true. And in today's environment, having a VA or several VAs, right, to do different tasks and different things that allow you to free up some time, um, is easy. It's never been easier, right? I can give a plug to our common friend, right? That's what he does today, right? He
Yes.
runs a VA. So shout out to Jobert, Task Maven. So if you need a VA, Jobert's the guy. But there is real knowledge that you have that can help people avoid, the pitfalls, right? The falling into the potholes. It doesn't mean they're not going to trip. It just means that they don't have to fall off a cliff, right? So, and when you can spend time learning, because if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, no doubt you are self-taught in certain things, right? You may hold great expertise in a certain area, but you're teaching yourself all day long. And technology is changing so fast that we're all learning every day. But if you can hire somebody to speed up the process, right, and cut through all of that, right, even just handing somebody a tech stack that you know is proven and works instead of the constant trial and error to see what they think is best, right? There's so many parts and pieces to entrepreneurship. There's the entity structure. What are your exit goals? Are you structured properly? Right? What does that all look like? There's sales, there's marketing, there's business development, there's relationships. How do you tap into your own network to help support what comes next? Right? And then the onboarding of clients. Huge, huge. What's your onboarding process look like to new clients? Um, Maybe share a little bit about some of your successes, Antwon, because I know you've been really successful with more than a few folks.
Yes, so definitely. So I think what I try to relate to clients is, um, when you're starting your business, it's okay to wear many other hats. But once you really get going, you need to hire individuals that have a zone of excellence. So those individuals will cut down on the time that it takes to grow your business because they're experts in what they do. That's if web design, if it's accounting, if it's growth strategies, those individuals have the expertise to actually help your business grow versus you going through trial and error to actually get going.
Absolutely. So if you had to give entrepreneurs one piece of advice, what would it be?
Be different.
Other than call you, right?
Being different is not always bad. Sometimes when you're different and you're not following the same path that everyone else is following, is good. And what I relate to people is just looking back at my military career. I felt a lot of people that were giving you advice were giving you advice from a place they hadn't even been. For example, most individuals would want to, give you advice on being a general officer or admiral, and they hadn't even reached that point yet. So you have to be particular on who you select as a mentor, and select someone that has already done where you want to go and been where you want to go.
Absolutely. I love that. Antoine, I'm so thrilled that you and I found some time to do this. It's been a months and months in the making. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your ideas, and your brilliance and your, um, strategic excellence. Because at the end of the day, we all bring things to the table, and nobody's path that I know who's an entrepreneur has ever been a straight line. Maybe there's a few folks that when they were 8 said, I want to be a doctor or I want to be a fireman or a fire person, right? At the end of the day, very few people have a direct path from where they start to where they end up. And the guidance you provide your clients with, comes from very practical, very real experience. And, I look forward to hearing the outcome, more of your outcome in the future.
Yes, definitely. And just like you said, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, when they get started, they may have one idea of where they want to go, but as their journey continues, their idea may change. A new opportunity may, come about. And you just have to do your own analysis on where you want to take your business and have the right mindset to get you there.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.